1.
Lap.
You can do it. It's 4.7 seconds. 5.6 seconds. It's a one of a kind. Only the DTM. Yes, man, you did it. Thank you, guys. Go, 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 go. Yeah!
Hello and welcome here at the Lausitzring in Germany. It's the fourth race of the DTM season 2015 coming up, and certainly Audi did rock it here yesterday at the race with a triple victory, and today in the qualifying Audi once again was really strong. But the man who won here last year is with me now, Pascal Wehrlein from Mercedes-Benz. Now last year you rocked it, you aced the race, you won. Then yesterday you had 5th position, but today only P14. Why?
Yeah, I think we were struggling a bit in qualifying, so all the Mercedes car at the moment were not happy. So Audi is really competitive and they are much faster than we are. So it's really unexpected because last year we were so competitive here, and yeah, I had my first victory, and this year it's really hard to get into the front rows, and yeah, now we will have a long race, but definitely I think the podium won't be possible for us today.
All right, but I'm pretty sure you're going to push really hard, so best of luck, Pascal. Thank you so much. And here's a little summary of the first race yesterday. Dave?
And what an exciting race it was as the fans stood by to enjoy what was going to be an Audi fest. As you can see, the front two rows with Audis, and a blistering start away from the front of the pack. But Maxime Martin was one that was making moves towards the outside, as you can see, as they head towards turn one. Bit of a lock up there from the fourth row of the grid, but through they were. Miguel Molina then already gapping back to Jamie Green as the rest of the order go through the S's here. Augusto Farfus was in trouble early on, unfortunately, but Miguel Molina, Jamie Green, then it was Mortara, and well, the gap back between Jamie Green and Miguel Molina leading there. The Pascal Wehrlein going past Robert Wickens. That wasn't made too difficult by Robert Wickens, and Nico Müller here just getting tagged enough to send him spinning around in a cloud of tyre smoke. The champion, well, the battle of the champions as Mike Rockenfeller goes through on the star of last year and the star of this year. Thus far, so far, Jamie Green. What a move that was as he went past Miguel Molina. And Jamie Green was running not only without DRS, but without a voice as well to communicate with his race engineers. So Jamie Green, once he was released from the clutches of Miguel Molina, was up the road. And, well, the Audi flag flied, even if there wasn't a smile on the fan's face. And Matthias Ekstrom also making good too as he goes past. And you can see in the Audi garages just how they were reacting there as everything continued, and we got to the very closing stages of the race, and Pascal Wehrlein made a great move there. Elsewhere, Maxime Martin, Martin Tomczyk and Robert Wickens there, and Timo Scheider, and they had the board prepared, ready for Jamie Green to take his second win of this season as he headed towards the checkered flag. It was going to be Jamie Green, and what an outstanding victory for the man without DRS as he took the checkered flag and secured his second win of the season. There, the full result: Jamie Green, Edo Mortara and Matthias Ekstrom, the 1, 2, 3. Audi locking out those 3 places, and with Verena now is yesterday's race winner, Jamie Green.
He certainly is, and it's got to be said, Jamie, you seem really relaxed. Anyway, you had a fantastic race yesterday, an amazing qualifying today, half a second ahead of everyone. And I guess since you're going to the race leading, you don't even have to worry about DRS.
Well, hopefully I'll hold that position into turn one, and then I don't need it. But the start's always a bit of a unknown, so can't take that for granted. But as I showed yesterday, I can still win if I'm not in the lead at the first lap. So should be a good race.
And we're very glad you got your voice back.
Yeah, I think the team are too, because then they can talk to me a bit more.
It's always an advantage. So best of luck for the race, Jamie, and back to you guys.
Well, he certainly does sound a little less hoarse than he did yesterday. Alongside me, David Addison. It was a thriller towards the end yesterday, wasn't it? We're expecting even more excitement today because, of course, it is a longer race.
Came alive in the last third yesterday. Today we've got the longer race and we've got the mandatory pit stop, and one man who needs to do something, not just in terms of overtaking, but clever on the strategy, Paul di Resta, who lines up 22nd. He's one of the 8 champions that we have on the grid, but as Pascal Wehrlein was suggesting, it was a pretty miserable qualifying effort this morning from Mercedes, and di Resta back in the DTM after his Formula 1 spell, 6th in the championship, has got a lot of work to do. Timo Glock had a big spin in the qualifying session. He's 21st on the grid, so likewise another former Formula 1 racer. He has got work to do as well. And Martin Tomczyk will start even behind those two. He's 23rd. Another former champion is Tomczyk, and the BMWs in qualifying this morning really did seem to be struggling.
Yes, really interesting, isn't it? How that, and yesterday we heard Jens Marquardt, the boss of BMW, saying that he felt the problem was not being able to get the heat into the tyres in terms of qualifying. You making the very good point. Well, actually, the duration of the qualifying is different, not so different, but we'll find out a bit more in due course. Timo Scheider is with Verena now.
After a so-so start into the season, we finally have Timo Scheider back in the front rows. How happy are you with your car?
Yeah, quite happy, I have to say. We improved the car from yesterday to today quite a bit, so that gave us the last couple of tenths to come up here. So it feels better than the beginning of the season, and yeah, hopefully we make some good points out of it.
Best of luck, Timo. Thank you so much. Back to you guys.
So I was making the point there when it comes to qualifying, as we look at Marco Wittmann, of course, the champion, and bearing in mind he won the championship at this very circuit last year with 2 races still to go. That's how dominant he was, and that manufacturer was. Yeah, the qualifying duration actually overall is not that much different, David, is it? Not
particularly, and you still really get your 2 runs out of a 20-minute session, just like you would try and get 2 runs out of the last 8 shootout in Q3 under the previous guys. So it's strange that BMW cannot adapt this year. But Jamie Green is the man on pole position, and it's Matthias Ekström for Audi lining up alongside. As we go to the next row, we do see Timo Scheider, who was with Verena just moments ago, and yesterday, what a star from the start, Miguel Molina. Then you get to Maxime Martin, who qualified well, ahead of Edo Mortara, who came here as championship leader. Then we go back to Augusto Farfus with BMW P7 and Nico Müller, another Audi driver alongside him. Mike Rockenfeller struggled a bit yesterday, whereas Danny Junqueira was in the points for the first time. They're 9th and 10th. Then we see Gary Paffett P11 and Tom Blomqvist, who will go from P12. 13th on the grid is Pascal Wehrlein and Christian Vitoris, 14th. 2 more Mercedes drivers struggling for pace. Wehrlein taking his first win here last year. Robert Wickens goes from P15 with the champion Marco Wittmann alongside him, a lowly P16. 2 drivers to watch. Then you get Antonio Felix da Costa, 17th, and Bruno Spengler, a long way back, 18th. Lucas Au, new to DTM this year, goes from P19, and Adrian Tombe from P20. 21st on the grid was the spinner, Timo Glock, and Paul di Resta just never got it hooked up. He's 22nd. And as we go to the back, it's Martin Tomczyk, P23, and Max Goetz from P24. Goetz had an off in the warm-up and did some frontal damage. In the qualifying session, there was only an installation lap. With respect to him, he was probably going to be on the back row, maybe the penultimate row anyway. So they saved a set of tyres. They did an installation lap to scrub them in. And Goetz, like di Resta, is going to be a driver hoping that he can buy some places with some clever pit work. Now, the race is 60 minutes plus a lap. Some pretty crude maths reckon that's going to get us to 47, maybe 48 laps. A pit stop is 21 seconds. You stop time plus drive in and drive out. You can do a maximum of 37 laps on a set of tyres, so a window, I'm reckoning, is going to be between 15 to 32 laps.
15 to 32. That's what you're saying.
Ish.
Okay.
So when we get to that area of 15 laps, you can anticipate that people are going to start thinking about the pit stops. Gary Paffett's going to be a man to watch as well to see what progress he can make, again having struggled in qualifying as we get ready for race 4 of the season.
And the sight of the big turbine behind the main grandstands here at the Lausitzring as we reveal the grid for race 4. Jamie Green, Matthias Ekstrom, the front row. Then it's Timo Scheider and Miguel Molina. Maxime Martin, Edo Mortara. Then it's Augusto Farfus, Nico Muller. Mike Rockenfeller, Daniel Juncker-Dea. Gary Paffett and Tom Blomqvist. The front page. The back page, if you like. Pascal Wehrlein and Christian Vitoris. Robert Wickens and Marco Wittmann. Antonio Felix da Costa and Bruno Spengler. Then it's Lucas Auer, Adrian Tombe, Timo Glock, Paul de Resta, Martin Tomczyk, and Maximilian Goetz, new to the DTM this year. Not new to the DTM this year, huge crowd ready to watch the race and the longer race of the two as the grid is set and the anticipation is beginning to build as the grid girls leave the pack.
The Spanish driver, Daniel Juncker-Dea, then in the Petronas Mercedes, is looking forward to a good race, and so too is the Mercedes Motorsport boss Uli Fritz, who is with Verena.
So we spoke to Pascal Wehrlein earlier. He was not very optimistic about doing too well in the race today, especially looking at the Mercedes-Benz. Even though this truly is, in the last years, this is territory for Mercedes. It's not going that well with your best car in P9. How optimistic are you for the race?
Actually, I think we saw a very strong Audi pace yesterday. Today its qualifying didn't go so well for us. We also got a little bit stuck in traffic. However, the performance is not where we would have expected and where we have really challenged for. So yeah, it will be a difficult race, that is for sure. We'll see what is possible, but I mean, starting in P9 is definitely not the ideal point to start here.
Okay, we'll see what the race brings. Thank you so much, and back to you guys.
Thanks, Verena. Catching up with Uli Fritz, then the head of DTM Mercedes, and even he admitting that it's going to be hard work for Mercedes today.
P10, Daniel Juncker-Dea, the best of the Mercedes drivers on the grid, just to confirm it. So he's got work to do, but you never know in the long race, and especially you never know given what can happen at the first corner. Yeah. You made the point in the races yesterday. It is a real pinch point. There is Edo Mortara, who lines up 6th on the grid in the Castrol Edge Audi. And Edo Mortara is always a man to watch, so we'll see what can be done in the ABD team car from him. And Mortara had a good run yesterday. In fact, he took 2nd place. Double winner in the DTM. Now, what about Maxime Martin? Because he ended the qualifying session 5th, the best of the BMW drivers. Winner in Moscow last year in the RMG run car that he has this season. Maxime, who is still a very important part of the BMW customer program in GT3 racing. And really upholding BMW honour here, because the others, in contrast, were struggling.
Yes, a very fair point that you make, and it'll be interesting to see what Maxime Martin is able to do in the race itself. Of course, he is a winner. Now, Molina, yesterday, from the very start, I mean, he did everything right, didn't he? Put it right at the front of the pack and led off. But he was undoubtedly holding someone like Jamie Green and Matthias Ekstrom up. And once they were able to get past him, they were almost in a different league. But Jens Marquardt is the boss of BMW, and he's with Verena now.
Yeah, Jens Marquardt now, obviously BMW is struggling a little bit. However, we've got Maxime Martin in P5, which is pretty promising. What are you hoping for in the race?
Well, obviously P5 and Augusto in P7 is not really good, but at least something. And yeah, a race with a stop and then things that can happen. For sure, we're going to push forward and see what best result we can have. Maxime was our best driver yesterday, and hopefully today he can do another good result. But it's going to be a stretch to get towards the podium, so we really have to find something magic.
All right, you do that. Crossing my fingers for some magic. Thank you, Jens Marquardt. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Verena. So BMW looking for magic. Magic Molina, who I was talking about just before. Once I said Ekstrom and Green had got past him, they seem to be in a different league. There was quite a pace difference between those Audi cars, David. That's the point I'm trying to make.
They were able to get away. It was, in a sense, a bit unfair that Molina only ended up 4th, because he led more laps than anybody in the race, but he wasn't ahead when it counted. And there was no suggestion of team orders yesterday. yesterday, largely because Jamie Green and the team couldn't communicate because he'd lost his voice. This is how we are in the Drivers' Championship. That win yesterday giving Jamie a 2-point advantage, but he was telling us this morning it's one of his more satisfying wins because he had to do it on racecraft and on pace. There was no suggestion that anybody on the pit wall would say, Jamie's better placed in the championship than you, Miguel, get out of the way. No. He had to battle his way by, and having done so, then Mortara and Ekstrom copied the move, and it came at the end of the pit straight down towards turn 1. It's a DRS zone, but the DRS on Jamie Green's car just was not working yesterday. His orange Audi is on pole position on the outside, the grippier line. The green flag waves. The cars are released. Yesterday, Audi had this remarkable run, locking out the top 4. If you go back to 2011, the Spanish round in Valencia, they locked out the top 6 when it was Matthias Ekstrom, Felipe Albuquerque, Martin Tomczyk, Timo Scheider, Miguel Molina and Oliver Jarvis, the order. But the last manufacturer to do the top 4 was BMW in Austria last year. And the championship has been all about Audi, really, this year, because after the 3 races so far, an Audi has led 96.77% of all the laps.
I saw you crunching the buttons on the calculator. You've been working very hard. Decipher, please.
Timo Scheider giving feedback to the team as to what the state of the track is like, and jinking around to get some warmth into the tyres, I surmise, and he is 3rd on this grid. Best we've seen out of him in qualifying for quite some time, really. But Timo Scheider, we know, is a pretty feisty racer. Yes. Going to be one to watch. And the field turning their way through down towards the end of the back straight. Pretty high-speed part of the circuit, this. And actually, it's got a bit more overcast as we've got to race time. This morning was bright and sunny and very, very warm. It's still a good temperature, but it is a little bit more grey overhead now.
It's a 3.478 circuit here. Of course, originally a tri-oval with this infield section that you see the cars on right now. David, overtaken here is there's not innumerate amounts of places that you can even try a move, let alone make it succeed.
It depends a little bit on the category, and of course we know that these cars are aero dependent, so through the infield where it flows, it's hard really. There isn't that stop-start, heavy braking, dive up the inside opportunity. Really, you've got to do it either at the end of the back straight if you're brave in one of these cars, or if you're really brave, going into turn 1. Jamie Green's radio was
4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Stop. Good.
Jamie Green's radio distorted yesterday. That, because it's on a delay, is the engineer, I think, talking him up to the grid box and telling him exactly where to stop. Yep. But it's on a delay before you get it back, so that's why Jamie has already stopped in place. Yes, you've got to be very brave to do it at the end of the pit straight, but it can be done. But that's... Overtaking around here is, as you say, not an easy prospect. So the teams are ready. It is going to be 1 hour plus 1 lap. The green flag is showed at the back. Race 4 of the championship is set to go.
We throw the lights up to the top of the screen for you as we start race 2 of the weekend here at the Lausitzring. It is DTM for 2015. Lights are out, and a reasonable start from Jamie Green. Looked like an absolutely excellent start from Matthias Ekstrom. They're side by side. Who's going to be first blood into the turn? It's going to be Matthias Ekstrom.
Great start because he was a length further back. There was a bad start by Nico Muller. Off the road goes Maxime Martin. Wide goes Mike Rockenfeller, but it's Ekstrom Green, then a gap. Molina is 3rd. Scheider is 4th. Mortara is 5th. So it's Audi domination with the best of the rest being Martin ahead of Farfus. Then it's Juncker going around the outside of Rockenfeller. But if Jamie Green wants this win, he's going to have to fight back very soon indeed before Ekstrom tries to build any sort of a gap.
So Danny Juncker there's got Gary Paffett for company already, and Mike Rockenfeller on the outside of those two as they go back onto the infield section of this circuit. But it is Matthias Ekstrom that's leading as we go onto one of the splitter cams to take a look from down low. And here comes our race leader, Matthias Ekstrom. P2 is Jamie Green, and there's some contact at the back, David.
They've all survived. No, they haven't. There's one in the gravel, and it is a BMW. It could even be Marco Wittmann looking at the front of the car. Let's see. It is. It's the reigning champion.
I think so.
The question came, is there any damage? Wittmann not sure.
Okay on TV, so stay out for the moment, stay out.
The car looks okay, but what he has got is grass in the splitter, and that's going to affect the temperature of the car. So don't be surprised if Wittmann struggles for pace because the car is running hot. At the end of lap 1, it's Ekstrom Green, then 3rd Molina, 4th Scheider, 5th Mortara, and 6th over the timing line is Maxime Martin, 7th is Farfus, 8th is Juncker-Deyer, 9th is Rockenfeller, and 10th is Gary Paffett making progress.
Yes, I did that Gary Paffett had made a good start earlier on, as we see Martin Tomczyk there through on Timo Glock. And here we can see, wow, he got a little tug there from Robert Wickens.
Yeah, and I'm also trying to work out why Wehrlein has fallen back, because Wehrlein is down to 22nd place at the end of the opening lap. I thought he might have got caught up in that, but something's happened to him.
Well, before we saw that incident, there was all sorts of stuff being thrown up into the air, which was before the Wittmann incident. I'm sure whether that was that, I don't know. We are only surmising. So you're absolutely right. Wehrlein, way down the order.
There he is, working his way through then. Just ahead of Maximilian Goertz, behind Paul de Resta, so it's looking pretty horrible this for Mercedes. Certainly you've got 3 of the good drivers down at the back there. Lucas Auer is under attack from Adrian Tambay, Antonio Felix da Costa's Red Bull, BMW on the back of Tom Blomqvist. Lots of battle still to sort out. Auer gets it all sideways, Tambay's got the momentum. The Playboy Audi makes a move to the outside, which will become the inside for the next corner if he can stand his ground and duck up the inside. Yes, he can. Is there room? Not quite. Lucas Auer covers the line. And Adrian Tambay, who's also defending from Martin Tomczyk, drops back because straight away he's got to go defensive.
Yes, absolutely right. So Tomczyk is right in the back of Adrian Tambay now as they head up towards the timing line. And then this pinch point, which is turn 1, this left-hander. And, well, Tomczyk just took a look at the inside and wasn't able to do anything there. And what that's done is propelled Tambay right into the back of Auer once again. And, oh, my goodness me, this man is having no luck at all, is he, Tom Blomqvist?
And he's straight into the garage, so that's going to be a retirement. I'm not quite sure what's triggered that, unless it's a mechanical issue, because we haven't seen him in a scrape. What we have got is Wickens under investigation for the moment he's had with Marco Wittmann. But look at Ekstrom starting to get away up the road now, 8/10 ahead of Jamie Green. The Audi still holding sway in the top 5 places. It's even better than yesterday at the moment, with Maxime Martin, the trailblazer for the other brands, sat there behind in 6th place.
Now, there doesn't appear at the moment to be anything wrong in terms of Pascal Wehrlein's car, because he's able to, he's matching the pace of Paul de Resta. He's got Maximilian Goetz in there as well. So what I'm trying to say is there doesn't appear to be any inherent fault with the car, whatever has happened.
No, his lap times are good, but of course he's been running in clear air, trying to catch up. Now he's caught up, so we'll see what he is able to do now. Jamie Green through in 2nd place, Miguel Molina 3rd as the cars work their way up over the timing line once more. Timo Scheider 4th. Now, where is the first shuffle in the order going to come from? What can Maxime Martin do about Mortara ahead of him? He is lapping quicker, so the BMW there, the blue and white car, inching up onto the back of the Castrol Edge Audi just up ahead, and DRS is now enabled.
Okay, this man, Gary Paffett, had an extraordinary race at Hockenheim. Let's see if we can see the same from him in this race as well. Gary Paffett is in the points. He's running P10 at the moment. There is our race leader, Matthias Ekstrom, who sets the fastest lap, a 1:19.112.
So some way away from the qualifying effort, but of course they're on a much, much heavier fuel load for all of this, so that's going to start to come down and the tyres will get up to temperature, the lap times will tumble. Ekstrom leading the way. He's just done a good first sector, but not as good as Jamie Green, who has brought the gap down slightly within the first third of the lap. But the Audi domination, not just of the weekend, but of the championship for the moment, continues.
And of course, in the championship, going into this race, it's Jamie Green, Edo Mortara and Matthias Ekstrom on 50 points, 48 and 40. So it's all very, very close, isn't it?
It is indeed, and of course it's a much longer championship, although there are fewer race weekends. We've got 18 races, not 10 that we had last year, so points are vital. You can, I suppose, to an extent, have one bad race and you've got more races in which to fight back, but that presupposes that the opposition is inconsistent as well, and so scoring and scoring well over a longer campaign is going to be important. As down the pit lane comes Gary Paffett, the Euronics Mercedes has got a problem now, and in comes GP.
Well, what a shame. Gary Paffett then, you can see on the paddle shift there. Gary Paffett into the pit lane, and from our vantage point here, it is a retirement as the car goes straight into the garage. What a shame.
the amount of effort that was being put into that paddle shift made me wonder whether he couldn't find any gears at all, and he was desperately trying to find something in there. But the net result is that Gary Paffett's promising start, as you made the point, he was running in 10th place. It comes to naught. He's in the garage. Look at the way the two leaders now getting away from Molina, and Robert Wickens is going to be shown a driving standards flag for pushing another car.
Jamie Green now responds with the fastest lap now. So the point you were making about if Jamie Green wants to keep on terms with Ekstrom, he's got to do it early doors in terms of trying to get past him, and he's certainly keeping with him, isn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't want to sit too close behind for too long and risk overheating, so he might just drop back and then let everything cool down, and then he's able to push again. Here they come, up over the timing line. It was 8/10 last time around, and on this lap, as they go through, it's halved. It's down to 0.4 of a second, and Jamie Green thinks about making a move against Ekstrom, but you've got to get up very early in the morning to hoodwink Matthias Ekstrom into a move.
These are two very, very experienced racing drivers.
Absolutely right. Yeah, Matthias double champion. Jamie Green yet to take a title as Tombe has a look at the inside of Lucas Auer, and he gains the place, and Tomczyk rather impudently tries to get in the act as well, but he can't do it. This is Tomczyk hard at work.
So one of the great onboard shots that we're able to bring you. There is Adrian Tombe. There is Lucas Auer. Lucas Auer, of course, graduating to DTM from the FIA Formula 3 European Championship from last year. And there is P1 and P2 as Jamie Green again, a 1:18.504. He's on a mission now, David, and I think this is the time where he's looking at Matthias Ekstrom.
He's close enough to attack, I reckon, coming onto the pit straight this time. If he can use that DRS, he's close enough to use it against Ekstrom, as long as he can stay tight through this next slow sequence of corners and then get the power down. He's going to be game on at the end of the pit straight, I reckon, and Jamie knows that, and that's where he overtook yesterday for the race lead. Here they come. Has Ekstrom got better drive out of the corner? The wing drops. That means that Jamie Green is using the DRS. The car, therefore, is quicker in a straight line. Is he close enough to make the move? I don't think he is. He's going to have to be very brave on the brakes, and here it comes at the end of the pit straight, and yes! Jamie Green grabs the lead, goes a little bit deep, and Ekstrom fights back on the inside. They're absolutely level going through the corner, and as they come out the other side, Ekstrom is back into the race lead. Jamie Green was ahead, but Matthias Ekstrom has been able to make that stick once more because he got the switch back, he leveled with Jamie Green, and he's retaken the advantage.
How infuriating will that be for Jamie Green, who really, really did brake very, very late. Well, thankfully from our commentary position here, we could see that all unfolding and able to bring you the news that Ekstrom had got back in front of Jamie Green. So there you can see the DRS being deployed. Here it is in replay. King of the late breakers there, that's for sure. But Matthias Ekstrom kind of knew, he bought into the, he knew what was going to happen, didn't he?
And he gave Jamie the room, and look, he's on the power earlier than Jamie, so he's got the drive out of the corner, and he's got the inside line for this section of the circuit now. Thank you very much. Back into the lead.
See the original overtake now, and that's where Jamie, just carrying that much more speed, was always going to run out, wasn't he?
Arno Zenzen from the Rosberg team nods in appreciation of at least the effort made by Jamie. Now let's see whether he can do it again. Here we come, over the line. 2/10 last time, 2/10 this time. Take two, Jamie Green up the inside.
Right, can he do it this time? He's certainly slower through there, and I think he's blocked the door. I think he has done it this time, because he's got the line through the S section now. So we do have a change of place as Jamie Green goes into the lead, relegating Matthias Ekstrom to P2. But bear in mind, next time around, who's going to have the DRS? It ain't going to be Jamie Green, it's going to be Matthias Ekstrom.
So what Jamie has to do now on this lap is try and break away. So if he's got the pace, now he's got to use it and see whether he can use his natural pace and his own ability to get away so that he's, say, a second or so further up the road. It won't be easy, but it's possible. So this was the move.
And he did it perfectly, didn't he?
And in fairness, Ekstrom gave him racing room, realising the last thing you need is two Audis making contact at the first corner. But Jamie is away. Look at this. He's off like the proverbial robber's dog, because that gap is widening over Matthias Ekstrom. But Ekstrom will use the DRS if he is within range at the end of this lap. So wait and see if the rear wing, or when the rear wing drops on Ecky's car. That's the indication that he's on the DRS. But I don't think he's near enough to use it.
No, I think you're right. I think he's too far back. And Jamie Green has done exactly what he needs to do. And that's gap back to P2, so that he's not going to give Ekstrom that chance, is he?
Over the timing line they come. Over a second ahead is Jamie Green. And here, also making progress, is Scheider onto the back of Molina. Third and fourth. Fifth behind them is Mortara. And just to remind you, there are other manufacturers in this race, and the best BMW is currently in 6th, and it's Martin, and the best Mercedes is 8th, and it's Juncker Dea.
Other cars are available, yes.
Subject to status. Now, there is Auer versus Glock, and Paul de Resta buying into it. Lucas Auer in the pink Mercedes, defends from the yellow BMW. Look at this line, all stuck behind Auer.
So Auer, Glock, then it is de Resta, Wehrlein, and Gertz, all there in a queue, aren't they?
Lucas Auer is doing a good job of defending. Granted, Tomczyk has got past him and pulled away. Marco Wittmann, look at the back as Gertz goes up the inside of Wehrlein. De Resta locks up ahead. Max Gertz rattles it over the curb, elbows out, and he's coming through. Oh no, you're not, says Wehrlein. I'll have the inside line for the next corner, thank you, and he hangs on to it.
Well, whichever way you look at the moment, there's plenty going on here. There is Pascal Wehrlein and Maximilian Gertz. Pascal Wehrlein taking his first victory in the DTM at this very circuit last year. Maximilian Gertz new to the DTM this year. And Paul de Resta there, and Timo Glock, and there's Marco Wittmann, whose Ice Watch BMW is down there in P22. Not where he would want to be, that's for sure. Jamie Green, who's got a 1.6 second margin over Matthias Ekström now at the front of the pack.
Wittmann not even catching that traffic, so clearly all is not well. I still think that car's running hot because of the grass it's gathered at the front. Now, what about Scheider here for the top 3? Don't forget, we have got the pit stops on which things can shuffle as well, but he is inching up onto the back of Miguel Molina as they work their way onto the back part of the circuit. They're now on the oval briefly and then dive out through the hairpin, heading onto the infield. And this is a part that the drivers like because it's fast and flowing, but it's hard to overtake around here. That corner is where you sort of cement the move from the previous hairpin. Replay of the start. Jamie Green on pole, good getaway. Tremendous effort though by Ekström. Jamie tried to move across and cover it, but Ekström was coming through, make your own arrangements, and from a length back, that was a really good start.
Yes, and there you can see from our high shot there from the cherry picker as everyone goes through the real pinch point, and they're very nearly touching, aren't they, Jamie Green and Matthias Ekström as they go through. Then you've got those 3 cars together, Maxime Martin, Timo Scheider and Miguel Molina all together there with Edo Mortara and then Augusto Farfus in the mix as well. And that's how, I mean, Martin did run out wide, didn't he? But he was kind of forced into that.
Absolutely right. And there, Pascal Wehrlein, I think, was also forced out wide. And
kind of mugged there a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, also tripped over the curb a little bit. The car just bounced slightly. Another look at the first corner. Scheider getting forced wide, and Martin was hung out to dry on the outside of that. So that's why he lost out to Mortara at the Audi garage. Well, garages, plural. Happy at the moment with the way the cars are going, even if not necessarily in every case it is their man that's having good places. So Jamie Green is back to where he started. In other words, 1, Ekström 2. Molina is the first mover. He's up a place, and Scheider has dropped back 1. You can see on that ranking how people have moved up or down the order since the start of the race. And Wickens has made good progress. He's up 4 spots. Tomczyk up 7, going really well.
And it's Wehrlein, which was the one you picked up on very early on, dropping down all those places. And Wittmann, and we've lost Paffett and we've lost Blomqvist out of this race. There is Molina then, and Jamie Green, you just saw at the back of the shot there, who's off up the road. Now, what can Timo Scheider do with regards of Molina? What are they, about 5/10 between the two of them there, and Eduardo Mortara tucked in behind Timo Scheider. And there's our race leader, Jamie Green, who's done exactly as you predicted, done everything that he needed to do in terms of getting himself away from Matthias Ekström. And there is Daniel Juncker Dea, who is running in P8 at the moment.
Yeah, had his best ever finish yesterday in 10th. First time he'd ever scored points. He's going even better today as the cars turn their way out of turn 1 then. And there is Mike Rockenfeller, who's got himself onto the back of Nico Müller. Now, this is a battle that is for 9th place, 9th and 10th, the last 2 places in the points, running as one. Rockenfeller, former champion. And then behind them, up into 11th spot, you've got Robert Wickens in the Mercedes. But there's a bit of real estate that he's got to make up yet before he can get onto the back of the Audi fight. Müller much closer to the concrete than Rockenfeller is.
So Müller dives in then, back to the infield section of this circuit, and Mike Rockenfeller behind him there. You can see at the back of the picture Robert Wickens as well. Jamie Green leading from Matthias Ekström and Molina. Those the 1, 2, 3. But we're watching this battle here, and as you've indicated, it is for the final points-paying places, P9 and P10, which Nico Müller currently P9, Mike Rockenfeller P10, and the cars up ahead. You can just see the back end of Danny Juncker Dea. So at the moment, Müller has got the better of Mike Rockenfeller.
1.7, gap 1.7. Copy.
All of that distortion was to confirm to Matthias Ekström that he was 1.7 seconds back, so
yes.
He knows he's got to push. But Jamie Green has been pushing very hard indeed. He dropped briefly into the 18s in his quest to get away, so he's certainly pushing on. He's certainly asking a lot out of his first set of tyres, which makes me think he'll be an early stopper rather than a late stopper. That therefore, though, means that he's going to have to look after the second set if he needs to do more laps.
Yeah, they're going to have to do longer, aren't they, if your strategy call is right. As it so often has been, to be fair. So Nico Müller, and again, Mike Rockenfeller is just not able to do anything. You know, just watched him down the over the timing line. There's a bit of damage to the back of Müller's car. I don't know if you noticed that, just in the right-hand corner there. Obviously from some earlier contact, that's just wobbling around a bit. It's obviously not affecting his pace. Thought we were getting some team radio from Matthias Ekström then, but 1.8 the margin now between Green and Ekström, so Jamie is able to pull out another 10th between the two of them. Look at this line of Mercedes, Pascal Wehrlein, and then it is Paul de Resta and Lucas Auer. So Wehrlein then. There you can see the DRS actually being used to get past Paul de Resta. Big bouncing going on at the bumpy tarmac here. Yeah. The Lausitzring.
And in the background there, that was
two BMWs.
Wittmann having a go, I think, wasn't it? Try and gain ground. Now there's the Audi battle, Müller versus Rockenfeller. What have we got next? The cars in the Mercedes fight also now being given a hard time by Antonio Felix da Costa. But you've got Vitoris moving ahead of Robert Wickens, and I think that was a bye, really, as far as Vitoris was concerned. Robert Wickens didn't make that look very difficult, did he?
No. No, that's a fair point. So we're on board then. Just look how close we get to the wall. That's a fantastic shot.
Skim the concrete. Vitoris may have been gifted that place by Robert Wickens, but Robert Wickens is coming back at him, largely because he needs to try and protect himself from Antonio Felix da Costa, who is next in the queue. Then it is Spengler, and then Adrian Tournbay in 15th place. Difficult weekend this for Tournbay. Qualified on pole, didn't he, for the first race last year, but he's never been able to recapture that form. And Müller is shaking off Rockenfeller, who's also been a little bit anonymous this weekend. He's kind of flattered to deceive, and he dives early for the pit lane.
Gap 1.8 gap, and about 4 laps, max 4 laps to the pit stop.
Okay, so this is the end of lap 14. We've got cars coming in. I reckon it was going to be 15 to 32. Okay, 1 lap early. Down they come. So you've got them Molina in, you've got Rockenfeller in, and there's a long line behind. Da Costa is coming in as well.
Yes, so we'll give you the 1 lap discretion then. Lap 14 then we start to see as in comes Molina. And let's watch the team hard at work here, and we've got the clock on them, 2.6 seconds. Mike Rockenfeller also in and out and away. In comes Tournbay also. So Rockenfeller 2.7, Molina 2.6. We've already heard Jamie Green. What was the radio message, Max?
4 laps.
4 laps, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we can see the graphic on the right-hand side of your screen where Jamie Green is relative to everyone coming out of the pit lane. There indeed is Jamie Green. Matthias Ekström being told to box. So we'll see Matthias Ekström dive into the pit lane. That leaves Jamie Green out on his own. Not that he was troubled by Matthias Ekström. So Jamie going to go longer on this set of tyres.
But he's got to treat these next laps like qualifying laps and build a gap.
Absolutely.
2.1, Aggie boxes, push.
So 2.1 then, it's not enough, is it? He's got to push. So here comes Matthias Ekström. This is going to be absolutely crucial to watch and really enjoyable as well. We're on board with Matthias Ekström, and he will pull into his box. And the team will go to work, and Jamie Green will be pushing right now. The clock is on Matthias Ekström. It's not a quick one, David, 3.2. So...
What it does mean is that Ekström comes out ahead of Molina then, but he's, in other words, kept track position. So that's good. That keeps him where he needs to be within the Audi fight.
Box this lap, box.
Come on. Jamie Green being told to box then, as we hear on the radio.
And basically the stop has got to be better than 3.2 seconds, hasn't it? the actual pit work, don't forget you've got the drive time to factor into this as well. So Jamie Green, the race leader, will be in this time.
Drive time, of course, should be the same for everyone. So it is, as David has suggested, crucial that the team go to work and do it better than 3.2 relative to Matthias Ekström's time. So let's see.
But he has also got a 1.9 second cushion, which was what it was when Eki came into the pit lane. So in comes Jamie Green. Don't forget your in lap is much shorter anyway. So he comes down the pit lane now at the end of 16 laps of the race.
So this is going to be fascinating to watch. Here comes Jamie Green, then lights flashing. The team are ready for him, and the team will go to work. This is going to be scintillating to watch. You can see the graphics on the right-hand side of your screen where Matthias Ekström is relative to Jamie Green. 2.7 seconds. The team do the business. They do what they need to do. He's on his way out now.
Okay, there's a couple of cars which still haven't pitted. They're fighting with object next to you now.
So Jamie Green stays ahead of Matthias Ekström, and if anything the gap looks like it's widened a touch, because not only of course was Jamie Green pulling away before the pit stops, but it was a quicker stop anyway by half a second, so that all adds up and it's all important in the DTM. So Jamie Green,
He's behind him, it's all good.
Jamie Green, it is effectively the race leader. He's also got Tomczyk between him and Ekström, so
Nice
there's that little buffer.
Yes, BMW buffer there,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Ekström is ahead of Molina in the meantime as well. What this is going to do, by the way, is put Timo Scheider into the race lead. It's a phony lead,
yes.
But I wonder how far Scheider is going to go before he stops.
Well, time will tell.
There he is.
Here's Timo Scheider.
And he's not coming in this lap because this is turn 4, so he makes his way up towards the line. And Scheider here hoping that he can try and stretch the advantage.
Push, push, push. Quali laps, the team radio says to Timo Scheider.
Mortara runs with him, so on track they are first and second. It's Scheider ahead of Mortara. In third on the road is Junkadea. Fourth on the road is Farfus. And what we need to see is where Jamie Green is relative to Timo Scheider. In 6th place on track is Spengler. Jamie Green is 7th. He is 14.9 seconds behind Scheider, and a pit stop is 21. So in other words, he will get the lead back when Scheider pits. That's why they've got to be qualifying laps, to see if Scheider can stretch that anywhere close to 21 or over 21.
Yes. They're going to be, have to be quali plus laps, aren't they, really? So Timo Scheider doing the best.
Stop in this lap.
So Timo Scheider being told to box this lap. So there is Timo Scheider, then the Autotest logo on the side of his Audi. And Timo Scheider will box this lap. Here's David.
21 seconds will put him back just behind Miguel Molina, which is where he was before Molina pitted to begin with, unless this is a really, really good stop. So it's going to be close, this, to see who comes out in 3rd place in real terms. Scheider, who's in now, or Molina, who will come across the timing line.
Okay, so that's what we're going to watch. And we throw Ekström and Molina up onto the graphics for you to see. We've got Timo Scheider running down the pit lane.
Be ready at the end of the pit lane to fight for position with Molina.
Oh, the Oracle alongside me, David Addison, lifts his hands in celebration because yet again he gets some strategy right. And this is where the battle is going to be. It's going to be for the last podium position, isn't it?
But we're not far off the pace on that one, are we? Because they are going to be very, very close indeed. So there is Scheider, 2.7 seconds. That's a comparable stop to Jamie Green. Now, where is Molina? There is Molina turning his way through. Is he going to be ahead? It's going to be close.
Push, Timo, push, the team tell him. But Molina has got it all under control.
So Molina stays ahead. He gets the place back again. Of course, he was there before the stops. And Scheider has got to push on this lap. But the problem is, of course, that Molina's tyres have had, another 4 laps of temperature in them. So he's well set in this stint. Scheider on a new set of boots is being asked a lot of.
Yes. And that's how close it was. But I think we knew when Timo turned, the left-hander had got the indicator on to turn left on turn 1. I think we knew at that point it was going to be a big ask for Scheider to do it.
Now, Matthias Ekström has done the best first sector of anybody in the race. Ekström is 2.5 seconds behind Jamie Green. That's going to be the battle now to the end of the race because Mortara pits this time. A longer first stint. Edo Mortara comes in. Need to see where he feeds back in, of course. And also, Junkadea is in.
Still come out in front of Martin. We are still in front of Martin.
So Mortara being told he should come out ahead of Maxime Martin, who is currently 27 seconds away from the race lead. Here comes comes Martin over the line, trying to go around the outside of Lucas Auer. Mortara will rejoin. All good. Mortara stays ahead of Martin.
And it wasn't a brilliant stop for Mortara. They had a problem with the left-hand front in terms of releasing, which meant that his time was a 3.2 relative to the 2.6s and 2.7s we see. I know we're talking about fractions of seconds, David.
But it all counts as there Maximilian Goertz comes up to have a go at Lucas Auer. And that battle between two drivers who have yet to stop is getting in the way of Maxime Martin, who wants to work his way through this traffic. But these two Mercedes are not helping life.
So it is Maximilian Goertz and Lucas Auer, then both new to the DTM for 2015. And Maxime Martin, of course, victorious in Moscow last year. His maiden victory in DTM. As we look at Jamie Green.
Bruno Spengler has just been told to box and has pitted. So in he comes, just caught a glimpse of him at the side of the frame there. So Jamie Green now is going to put himself back into the lead of the race, both on track and on, if you like, corrected times. So through he goes, and look behind him, there's Ekstrom, and the gap between them is 1.9 seconds, and it was 2.5.
So that's a significant difference now, isn't it, in terms of what the pace that Ekstrom is being able to offer. So this is going to really hot up, and what's going on here?
Martin against Auer, and Maxime Martin goes through. And in a sense, although that's a proper pass, he shouldn't be having to fight quite that hard, because those two cars, of course, are trying to stay out late on this first set of tyres. But it is a fair battle. But Maxime Martin has gone through. What's more relevant is Farfus versus Rockenfeller behind them, because they have both pitted, and so that's a proper battle.
Okay, so there is Maxime Martin. There's Lucas Auer, and it's Nico Muller that we can see. And then it's Augusto Farfus and Mike Rockenfeller.
Yeah, Muller is part of that fight as well. So he's trying to defend from Farfus. He's trying to keep Rockenfeller at bay. Goertz is starting to get better and better in this race as this stint wears on. So that car, I know it's working its way up the order because it's staying out and others are pitting, but the pace is looking good and he is doing proper overtakes.
Okay, so there is Jamie Green and Matthias Ekstrom. You just saw through on the shot there. Going to be very interesting to take a look at the sector times here. I know you keep an eye on that, David, very much, but you can see that the gap is coming down between Jamie Green and Matthias Ekstrom. And Ekstrom is on a bit of a charge now, and Jamie Green will be well aware of that. Both of them have pitted, of course. They go through turn one, and here's, well, this is even closer, isn't it, Molina and Scheider?
I was about to say that gap has come down because Scheider is lapping quicker. There it is on screen. Mortara is in fifth, a bit distant, but he is still there, perhaps poised if anything happens ahead. There is Scheider working his way now back onto the oval part of the circuit. The gap between Green and Ekstrom down again last time to 1.7 seconds, so it is all concertinaing up at the front. In third place is Molina, fourth is Scheider, fifth is Mortara. And then in sixth place, it is Danny Juncadella, and that's just got better after the pit stops. He was eighth before. He's up into the top six. Juncadella could be having his day in the sun here.
You're absolutely right. Well, Lucas Auer has just been in for his pit stop, and I think that means that Max Goertz is staying out there.
You're right, yes.
So his pace is improving as the tyres are really...
Yeah, I mean, the fuel load is coming down, but there's going to be a point where the tyres have got past their best, and so anything he's gained, he's going to lose. So they need to get the moment right to bring him in. But for the moment, it's looking pretty decent for him, and he might be able to keep some of those places with a good stop.
Miguel, you drive the same pace than the front runners. Scheider is only quicker on the straight due to DRS. All good.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes. We sit here trying to ascertain what some of the code words are, don't we?
Well, yeah, I mean, Timo Scheider might only be good on the front straight, but he is quicker in the first sector. Now, it includes the pit straight, granted.
Yeah.
Middle sector of the lap, he was 91,000 slower, so there's not much to choose.
Right.
Now this is Max Goertz versus Maxime Martin for 7th and 8th places.
And of course, Goertz is staying out there. Yeah. He's being a bit of a hindrance, if truth be told, to Maxime Martin, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying earlier on, that Martin wants to get on with this, but he can't because he's got, in theory, a slower car there. And of course, it's a car on a set of tyres starting to lose their edge. So, yeah, Martin is being compromised a little bit. Goertz lapping in the 120s and Martin in the 19s. The leaders in the first sector are very closely matched, but Jamie Green faster by a Nat semi-crotchet, really.
So there is our race leader, Jamie Green. car number 53, his permanent number for his DTM Racing, the all-orange Hoffman Group, Audi, Jamie Green, Matthias Ekstrom then in P2. Then we've got this battle between Molina and Scheider for P3.
Yeah, I don't think that's over yet. And behind, Martin is still doing decent enough lap times, but he is losing relative to Juncker because he's stuck behind Gertz.
Right.
Now here's Scheider, DRS and all, and he has a look at the inside of Molina, and it's this corner, turn 1, where Molina lost 3 places in the race yesterday, and Scheider not able to really commit to a move there.
Certainly took a look, didn't he, but not close enough to be able to do so.
We're into the second half of the race as well now, so there you've got Scheider pushing on in that 4th spot. Mortara is 5th, and Mortara is taking 4/10 a lap out because Scheider is stuck.
Yes.
And Mortara's got clear road effectively until he catches up onto the back of Scheider. So Timo needs to get on with this.
But what it's going to do is, you know, Timo's going to have to go from attack to defend mode, isn't he? Because, you know, Edo is going to be on the back of them.
1.6 behind you.
So, prompted by you, he gets warned where Edo is and how quickly Edo is getting on the back of this little battle. So Timo Scheider needs to get on with this, doesn't he? But, you know, Molina, why should he, you know, he ain't just going to, well, unless told to, he ain't going to just pull over, is he?
Well, no. I mean, these are 3 different teams operating these cars, all under the Audi umbrella. And every driver wants to do as well as he possibly can. Molina in 3rd spot, but Mortara could well be the danger there. Jamie Green over the timing line, and he's responding once again, I reckon, because the gap, yes, has gone up from 1.6 to 1.8. Here comes Scheider.
DRS assisted once again. Timo Scheider dives up to the inside, and this time I think the move is on. He goes through on the inside of Molina. Molina's going to try and fight back on the switchback, and I think he's got it there side by side. Molina goes through and gets that place back.
Retakes the position. Scheider had the pace, but he couldn't get it slowed down in time, so he's had one go at it. I reckon he'll have another stab. It was what happened Jamie Green versus Matthias Ekstrom earlier. He'll have another go next time. Well done, Miguel, for getting the place back, but Timo Scheider with a lesson learned, I reckon we'll have another crack next time around, and it should come off, but we will see.
You're right, it was a photocopy of the Green Ekstrom move, wasn't it? And, well, he will try again. Have no fear of that. And of course, whilst this battle is going on, it's playing into the hands of that man, Edo Mortara. Let's see it in replay. So Scheider just carrying too much speed. Molina anticipates that, gets alongside, because being alongside puts him in the right line for the next turn through the S section.
And Hans-Jürgen Ab shakes his head because for a moment, perhaps he was fearful that 2 Audis were about to meet in the middle. Now, is Scheider close enough? He's not, is he, yet? Unless he can get a really good run out of turn 4 here, but he might just be a bit too far back. Meantime, Jamie Green leading the way now by over 2 seconds. This is looking very good indeed for Jamie. 10 DTM career victories. And he turns his way through turn 1 ahead of Ekstrom, then Molina, then Scheider, who has caught, but not close enough to make the move. And Mortara is still chipping away there in 5th place. Look at the way the gap has come down.
Yes, absolutely right. And, you know, Scheider wasn't close enough to even try that time, was he? So he will reassess and try and get it nailed for this time, because he's very aware of the threat of Edo Mortara creeping up behind him. And Molina being very, very motivated by his team, that's for sure. And Molina doing a great job, to be fair.
He is, and he's not putting a wheel wrong. And somebody who has got it wrong is Wehrlein, who's been off the road down at turn 1.
Timo, now Mortara is with the DRS window.
Wehrlein is back on again.
Okay, Pascal, you have a lot of grass. You have a lot of grass. Watch for your water temperature. Watch for your water temperature, please.
So he was battling with Da Costa. He got the place back, ran wide.
You have a block of air going through the radiator, so please watch for your water.
And it was contact with Da Costa that fired him off, so that's kind of a 2-part incident. There was the scramble into the first corner, and then the bit of rubbing that sent Pascal Wehrlein off the road. And you've heard the radio traffic to say you've got a lot of grass in the front, so be aware that the car may well overheat. Now, Molina is still keeping Scheider at bay, and Timo not able to use the DRS to his advantage there. But he's had a go, and he knows what's possible at turn 1.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the information.
That incident between Wehrlein and Antonio Felix da Costa is under investigation. no real surprise.
No, Pascal reporting back, though, that at the moment everything is fine. Great to have those transmission messages. Everything fine, too, for this man, Jamie Green, at the moment.
Now look back for third place. Timo Scheider has fallen away once more from Miguel Molina, and Mortara is creeping up onto the back of him, and Mortara now is going to be the danger because he will be within the DRS zone as far as Scheider is concerned. So just as we've been looking at what Scheider can do about Molina for the last couple of laps, now of course it's Mortara who is the threat to Scheider. In contrast, of course, Jamie Green has pulled away out of that DRS range as far as Ekstrom is concerned.
It's given him a nice little cushion, hasn't it? Okay, so let's watch these three then. This is where it's going to hot up, that's for sure. Eduardo Mortara then on the back of this little trio.
Still 23 minutes, 23 minutes.
That's his team telling him, take your time. There's still 23 minutes left to run. Scheider certainly not close enough to Molina on that occasion, and Edo Mortara just creeping a little bit closer to Timo Scheider. I mean, these three on pace, David, are very, very close.
Yeah, no argument about that. Up front, I was just looking to see that Ekstrom had caught Jamie Green by another couple of tenths, so it ebbs and flows a little bit in that situation. Mortara then edging ever closer to Scheider. This is the view as Scheider goes a little bit deep down into the hairpin there. Mortara hustles on. And Danny Juncadella in 6th place, upholding Mercedes honour and set for his best ever finish.
Scheider playing a game here and just easing off a little bit and knowing that he can still get back to Edo Mortara just to cool the car a little bit.
If possible.
You know, to go for another overtake in maybe a lap or so's time. Who knows? Timo Scheider knows what he's doing, and he's going to try and find a way to get past Miguel Molina, but at the moment Miguel Molina is not having to worry too much because there is a gap back there to Timo Scheider.
So here they come off turn 4, heading up towards the timing line. Leaders go through, and it's gone up again, 2.4 seconds. So that time around, Ekstrom drops back. What about for third? Scheider close, but no, not close enough there, nor is Mortara close enough to him. And then a lonely 6th is Juncadella. In 7th place, it is Maxime Martin. There is Paul de Resta, who is down in 21st. Marco Wittmann is 20th. De Resta having had a big lock-up earlier on in the race. And Max Gertz, incidentally, is still in 8th and has still yet to stop. So he's going as far as he possibly can, hoping that the gaps will have opened up by him staying out longer, and then he'll be able to rejoin on his fresher set of tyres and run further up the order towards the end. That's the hope.
We will see in practice if that works in due course. So leader goes through. There is P2, then P3, 4 and 5. Let's hear Timo Scheider's team radio.
He's gone all shy.
Yeah, he has. Danny Juncadella. A great showing from Danny Juncadella, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, just like we've had one BMW all weekend, which has largely been that of Martin doing good things, in this race, this is the one Mercedes that's doing any good at all. It's a really disappointing race for the three-pointed stars, this. But Danny Juncadella, the Spanish driver, who quite often you anticipate being near the back, here is being the real star. Comes up, heads over the timing line. Is he doing anything about those ahead of him? Because the target really is Mortara, but no, he's not. And Scheider has got himself back onto the tail of Molina, but by the time he's done that, then he's so far back, he's not able, sorry, he's got to the end of the straight, he's not able to do anything about making the move.
You're right. He's used all the DRS to bring him on the back of him, hasn't he? But he's not able then to dive up to the inside. So here they are again. So it's Molina, then Scheider, then Mortara, and then we see Daniel Juncadella getting very, very close to the wall there. And Maxime Martin, who's really been out on his own in P7, untroubled by anyone really, but Maxime Martin doing a good job there in P7, the Samsung BMW M4 DTM of Maxime Martin, the best of the BMWs to show.
Yeah, the next of the BMWs is going to be that of Farfus, who is 11th, and Spengler, who is in 12th place. And there is Da Costa up the inside of Wehrlein. And he goes through at the hairpin, but he goes out wide. And Pascal Wehrlein tries to get between Farfus and Da Costa. He goes around the outside. It's all good racing, this, but Augusto Farfus is starting to fade. A bit like in race 1. He's dropping a few places. He retired from race 1. But look, that is clearly a car with a problem because he's letting people go by.
And a bit of history between Wehrlein and Felix Da Costa as well. So there, you're absolutely right. A problem with the Farfus machine. And there, Paul de Resta going past in the number 3 Mercedes, and sure enough.
Something's broken, car not handling properly.
I saw some smoke on the main straight.
And that's why, because he's damaged the suspension by bouncing off the side of Gertz. So that's both the RBM cars gone, isn't it? Blomqvist and Farfus.
Yes. So Gertz then back out onto the track.
Okay, Timo, 20 minutes to go, and you're always better than the other two on sector 3.
The replay there of Farfus a lap later, being unable to slow it down and turn into turn 1, and the team at that point knows it's got a problem.
Interesting radio message there from Timo, or to Timo Scheider, giving him the hurry up, I think.
Yeah, I mean, reminding him where he's strong to a degree, and perhaps giving him the confidence that this isn't a forlorn hope. He can do it, and if he gets that last sector right, then it is possible. He's had a go, and he had made it stick, oh so briefly, but he has proved that he can make the move. But he's too far back this time as they go over the line. The gap between Molina and Scheider is half a second. By the end of the straight, the gap is down, but then it's too late. You're out of straight, you can't make the move.
So what he needs to do on that last section, he's really got to be on the back, hasn't he, of...
He's got to start 2 corners before the banking, really, to get himself there. So he's absolutely in the tow, in the slipstream, in the DRS zone as he comes over the line. And then he can get the work done largely before the turning point. That was the problem last time, that he had to brake too late to get the car slowed down, because only then had he made the pass. Gertz in for the tyre stop. So now we will see how far down the order he's going to drop. And I think, actually, in the end, it is going to put him back behind Lucas Auer, potentially.
So there is Gertz then with the stop done. And where is he going to filter back out? There is our race leader, Jamie Green.
I don't actually think keeping Gertz out that long has done him any good in the end, because a 21-second stop, given where he was, is going to put him back down behind Lucas Auer. I think he's going to rejoin in last place. We'll confirm at the end of the next lap, but I don't think they've actually gained anything by that. It was a roll of the dice. It's not really worked. And there is Jamie Green, who is now 2.9 seconds up the road.
Added another 10th. How close is Scheider now? He's close enough as he dives up the inside of Molina. He knows the mistake he made last time, but he's not quite close enough. Molina is able to prevent that overtake once again, and off goes Robert Wickens.
And that is at the end of the back straight. He's back on track. Is he going to pit? What are the tyres like? He's going to stay out. But Robert Wickens got it wrong at the end of the back straight, over the bump, locked up, tried to turn in, and it was all going wrong. And the marshal had the yellow flag out even before he'd gone sideways. There's a vote of confidence for you. This is it. On board with Wickens, and instead of fighting the car in the end, he just lets it go. He's got the momentum to go through the gravel.
The advantage is on start-finish for Scheider.
Molina still being told that Scheider only has the advantage on the pit straight with the DRS. That's the replay of Robert Wickens going way out wide. This is Wehrlein having a go at Timo Glock down towards turn 1. He goes through. Glock gives him racing room, tries to get the switch back, but Wehrlein has that one covered and boxed off.
Right, last time around, he'd taken another 10th out of him. This time around, well, increases still a little bit more, Jamie Green. Incredible pace.
Absolutely dominant this weekend. Where do we go next with the DTM?
Norrisring.
Who normally wins at the Norrisring?
Mr. Green.
That'll be it then. Now let's try and catch up with some pit news. Augusto Farfus out of the race. Verena, what can you tell us?
Yeah, the second BMW is out next to Tom Blomqvist. It's also Augusto Farfus. Augusto, why did the race end for you? What happened?
Yeah, well, I had a contact in that one, and it broke my splitter. So it's a shame. We were running for points. Yesterday I had to retire due to the same problem. And anyhow, we're not having a strong pace anyhow, so we have to definitely work on our cars to be stronger in our race.
We've got 4 weeks for that, so hopefully BMW is going to catch up by then. For now, let's go back to the race. Back to you guys.
Well, big disappointment for Farfus, one of a number of retirements now. We've lost him, Blomqvist, as you heard, and also don't forget Gary Paffett. We never got to the bottom. We have this suspicion it was a gear-related issue, but Gary we lost very early on in the race. The contact between Da Costa and Verheyen is going to be referred up to the stewards of the meeting, so there may be more to come there. But Danny Junckadea, who was always a good overtaker in his Formula 3 Euro Series campaign, is here running at the moment in 6th place. Now, he is not being caught by Maxime Martin, but Junckadea is lapping a fraction quicker than Mortara, and the gap admittedly is 3 seconds, but he's chipping away.
Well, as you were talking about that man, Danny Junckadea, I was watching this man, Timo Scheider, as he was back on the back of Miguel Molina, but again, just not close enough to be able to take a dive up the inside and be able to hold on to that and be completely committed to that overtake. To say, Timo Scheider has, he's met with stern opposition, hasn't he, in terms of Miguel Molina, and at the moment it stays the same with Green, Ekstrom, Molina, Scheider, Mortara, Junckadea. And there is Molina then, who, as you said earlier on, led more races yesterday than anybody else.
Yeah, more laps, didn't he? And of course, that's perhaps one of the reasons why he's being so stoic in this defence, because he doesn't want to get mugged like he did yesterday.
Maybe.
So there is Scheider. He runs in 4th place. Now, in the second sector of this lap, he was actually slower and lost a couple of tenths, and that means that he's compromised going into the final sector where he needs that good run onto the pit straight. Frustrating for Scheider. You think the cars will be identical, but the setup is slightly different, and that's why some have an advantage at different parts of the circuit. Green leads Ekstrom. The gap for 3rd comes down as the rear wing drops. The DRS is opened on Timo Scheider's car, but you can forget it this time because he is too far back. The other interest in this for me is that Mortara has been able to do nothing about them, and he's not even staying with them. He's falling away.
Yes, I was then about to make that very point. As we watch them through, and there is Eduardo Mortara, who we expected with the battle between Molina and Scheider for him to be a sight closer to it. It certainly looks like he is now, but it's still far enough back, isn't it? And there is the best showing Mercedes thus far, and that is Danny Junckadea in P6, Eduardo Mortara. And the last 3 laps, the gap between Eduardo Mortara
is out of your DRS window.
And Danny Junckadea as we get the team radio.
So Mortara too far back. In other words, don't worry about him. Push on.
Yeah.
Go after Molina, which in fairness is what Scheider has spent most of his afternoon doing.
Yes.
But he gets the message again. Wasn't it Kimi Räikkönen in Formula 1 a few years ago that came back and said to the team, yes, 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 I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone. But Timo Scheider being given that extra bit of encouragement from the pit wall. Danny Junckadea in the meantime, marginally quicker in Sector 1 than Mortara, and 2 tenths quicker in Sector 2 than Mortara.
This time, is he close enough? I don't think so. Certainly can't do so. It's setting that overtake up, isn't it? 2 or 3 turns ahead, and just having the benefit of the toe, then the DRS as well.
The problem for Scheider is the middle sector, because that seems to be where he's losing out. And so instead of the DRS working to help him get ahead, it's helping him get back onto terms. And then he's run out of the pit straight and he's wasted the moment. So if he could stay closer in that middle sector somehow, only by a couple of tenths, then it would make life a lot easier.
Well, we'll see if he's able to achieve that. There is our race leader, Jamie Green. There is P2, Matthias Ekstrom. The gap last time around was 2.8. We're on board with Matthias Ekstrom as he's, trying to chase down Jamie Green. I have to say, Jamie Green has just managed that gap perfectly and kept Ekstrom out of it, hasn't he? And Ekstrom not able to use the DRS to advantage himself in terms of where Jamie Green is, but great to watch Matthias Ekstrom at work there at the moment. Green, Ekstrom, Molina.
2.8.
2.8 means the gap over Matthias Ekstrom, and we've got just under 11 minutes plus the lap, don't forget, still to go. What the teams have been saying from the pit wall is the time remaining, but you mustn't forget that lap at the end, which is going to be another, 78 seconds really, because they're lapping in the 1:18s at the moment. Hans-Jürgen Abt studies all the data, and in the garages, that's Timo Scheider's mob, if you like, for the auto test Audi. And Lucas Auer is in the gravel bed, and that is at the end of the back straight.
Now.
Safety car deployed. Safety car has been deployed. And that...
Okay, safety car out, safety car.
That's going to change a lot of things. It won't change the order necessarily, but it will bunch everybody up, and this is going to be a very intriguing final few minutes of the race. So we go safety car. Sven Stopper, the race director, errs on the side of caution these days, a legacy in part of the Japanese Grand Prix accident of last year. So there's going to be a snatch vehicle out during a race, and therefore, although we had a race earlier on in the day, same part of the circuit where it was just a localised yellow flag, this is going to leave nothing to chance and deploy the DTM safety car. There it is, and Jamie Green uses all sorts of good old Anglo-Saxon words to sum up his delight at seeing his lead absolutely
eroded.
Slashed.
Yes, slashed is a good word. What it does for us, well, the final few minutes of this race are going to be very exciting indeed, because as you say, everyone's going to be bunched up together. So where did Auer get it?
It's at the end of the back straight, isn't it? He turns in and the back just gets away from him, and round it goes with just about 10 more minutes to go. So that makes him Lucas 50 minutes. He wasn't the full hour.
Right, there are other jokes available. Lucas Auer then in the gravel. That provokes the safety car. That means everyone will be bunched up together. Now, as you say, necessarily going to change the order at the restart, but what it is going to do is make it very, very exciting over the following laps, isn't it?
Yeah, and of course this all eats into the time available. So those drivers that were hoping to be able to make a move have got less time in which to do it. However, those drivers that thought they had a half-decent cushion have lost that cushion. Thinking Mortara versus Juncadella, for example.
Yeah.
So let us see. The other element of this is, as we've said before, safety cars breed safety cars. So it could be that with everybody tightly bunched, there's a little bit more rubbing in the pack. We'll see what develops. So Lucas Auer's car is being attended to when the lights go.
It's 8 minutes to go. At the moment we calculated with 7 laps. It's probably less, but I keep you updated.
So Jamie, very interested in how many laps he's going to have left, and that's a bit ambitious to expect that number of laps.
I think if you're braced for that and you can defend for that, then you'll be all right. Okay. So maybe that's what they're doing. But yeah, I mean, the gap will come right down. Jamie's going to be a bit nervous about this. There is Lucas Auer's car being retrieved. When the lights go out on top of the safety car, we will know that it is due in at the end of that lap. The JCB snatch vehicle takes Lucas Auer's car out of the way. JCB with a good motor racing history. The JCB Chevron at Le Mans going back a long, long time. Anyway, Lucas Auer's car will be hoiked over the wall, and then as soon as... It's not really that car that needs to be out of the way, it is the snatch vehicle back to its base. Then the road is considered clear. Super slow-mo replays from earlier on in the race here when we had Augusto Farfus circulating. And sorts of weird and wonderful things falling around the wheel there. Photographers hard at work. And that look is Ekstrom versus Green trading the lead. When Jamie made his first move, got through, and Ekstrom was right back alongside him.
To give you an update whilst you watch the safety car, what the snatch vehicle is doing, it's not lifting the car over the wall, it's going to actually release the car down onto the grass, where Lucas Auer hopefully is going to be able to get it away and run it up to the pit lane. And as you rightly say, it's getting the snatch vehicle out of the way, isn't it? That's what we need so that we can go back to racing, and the clock is continuing to tick down. As you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, we're down to less than 6.5 minutes.
Indeed so, not going to be that many racing laps, although it is the 6 minutes plus 1 lap at the end.
Everybody will save fuel and tyres.
Positive. Confirmed.
Matthias Ekstrom blasting back up onto the tail of Jamie Green, making sure the temperature is maintained in the rubber. Now, of course...
Audi are top 4 at the moment.
Matthias a week ago in...
No, it's top 5. No, sorry, top 4. Top 5 Audis, and everybody's saving fuel and tyres.
So everyone's saving fuel and tyres. Top 5 for Audi. Right, let me try and have an extra moment again. What I was about to try and suggest.
You can't need to go quicker, it's too slow.
Copy, we are on it.
Jamie wants the safety car to speed up. Ekstrom a week ago in rallycross mode, where you've got to be on it right from the get-go, haven't you? And that's going to be the same for him behind the safety car. When that peels off, he's going to want to be on the money, and of course he has that instinct with a good rallycross background as well. Jamie Green getting concerned that the safety car is not going quickly enough, and therefore the temperature is not staying in the rubber.
Safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap.
So that kind of solves the problem, and don't forget the safety car peels in before that final sequence of corners. So they will have a couple of clear corners, but Jamie Green leads the way. So we're going to have less than 5 minutes. Where is the safety car? Back straight.
This lap, Jamie.
Safety car's down the back straight through the incident zone. And so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 corners to go on this lap.
Now Jamie's going to back them up, isn't he? And try and get an absolute flyer. Matthias Ekstrom is going to try and anticipate this as well and go with him, and I think he does quite well, to be honest. So Jamie Green speeds up, so too does Matthias Ekstrom. We see the safety car peel off into the pit lane, and Jamie Green has got the remainder of this race. He'd built up such a phenomenal lead over Matthias Ekstrom. It all counts as naught now, though, as the race resumes. And what can Scheider do on Molina as they head towards the timing line, and the lights are green.
To go 5 laps.
Ekstrom is close, but he's not near enough, I don't think. Is he going to commit to a move? No, he's not. The moves are going to try to be made lower down the pack, because there, look, round the outside goes Christian Vitoris, who gets ahead of Nico Müller. Tornbe and Spengler are there as well, so Vitoris is the one who has benefited. He's up into 8th place.
So Jamie Green then and Matthias Ekstrom as they get back onto the oval section of this track before diving inside again. Jamie Green weaving all over the place there, trying to get that heat generated back into the tyres. Here's Matthias Ekstrom. We're on board with him right now. So Jamie Green leads from Matthias Ekstrom, then it's Miguel Molina, and these two are beginning already in the space of just a third of a lap to eke out a gap over Molina and the chasing pack.
He was also weaving to try and break that toe and also cover any possible thought Ekstrom had of being able to make a move up the inside, and again he tries to shake off any slipstream effect that Ekstrom is benefiting from. So Jamie's absolutely determined to win this race, and Juncker is determined to get past Mortara for 5th. Drama, Tornbe's gone round in the background. Adrian Tornbe, you just saw the Audi spin backwards. It's at the same corner that Auer went, and I think he's dropped it into the gravel. We could be safety car. No, Tornbe gets going again. The Playboy Audi is going to be down to stone last, but it is circulating.
0.8, gap is 0.8.
Over the line comes Jamie Green, 2 3/4 minutes down towards turn 1. Look at the background. Juncker against Mortara. They're close, Dave.
They are close. Edo Mortara covers that gap, though, as behind Maxime Martin and Christian Vitoris together there. Christian Vitoris going up and finding that pace. As you say, it's really, this stop has really played for him, hasn't it?
Now Mortara is under huge pressure from Juncker now, the two of them absolutely together, and they've both got to be mindful that Vitoris is steaming up behind them. Tornbe has just pitted after his spin, and Mortara turns his way through the hairpin, and look at Juncker now getting ever more toey to find a way past him. 2 minutes plus a lap to go.
So 2 minutes plus a lap. Jamie Green is up the road. So the team radios, well, telling what we can see, and there is Adrian Tornbe then.
Does he get a nudge from Spengler? Yes.
Probably does, doesn't he?
That's more than a nudge.
Yes.
That's a big whack, that. So Adrian Tornbe's Playboy car off the road. His dad was sponsored by the Moulin Rouge, wasn't he, many, many years ago, when he drove for Theodore. Anyway, Jamie Green leads the way. And it's going to be 2 more laps, I reckon, before the time runs out. He'll get this and 1 more, and then there's the lap at the end. So 3 more laps.
3 more laps in total. So Matthias Ekstrom then in P2. Jamie Green leading and very conscious of Matthias Ekstrom behind him. There, Timo Glock, and then we can see Pascal Wehrlein.
3 laps to go, and Eki is on DRS.
Eki then within the DRS allowance area, so he is still able to hunt him down and still able to push. Juncker has got his mirrors absolutely full of Vitoris now, and this isn't just a battle for position, it's also the battle to be the best Mercedes, and Bruno Spengler has got a drive-through penalty for punting Tornbe out of the way up at the end of the back straight. Whether he takes that or whether he converts it into a 30-second time penalty, we will have to wait and see. If Spengler doesn't pit, he'll end up with the time being added and he'll fall down the order that way, but either way, it's bad news for Spengler.
So there is Mortara, there is Daniel Juncker then. And Juncker with Christian Vittoris right behind, and we go on board with Eduardo Mortara, who knows he's got those two Mercedes behind him for company, and he's trying to stick his elbows out and be as wide as he can possibly make that RS5 DTM car. And
2 laps to go. 2 laps to go.
Daniel Juncker
seems to be no DRS yet.
Well, without any DRS advantage, as we're being told by that team radio.
It is enabled now, so it is going to work this lap. And the time has run out, so there is this lap and then the one, if you like, bonus lap at the end of the time. So there is this lap and one more to go. It's 2 more laps, as you've heard over the team radio. And Juncker, for my money, has dropped back a bit too far from Mortara, certainly through that sequence, to think about passing. Yeah, 1.3, but the DRS is now activated once again. So Jamie can't breathe a sigh of relief just yet. He's still got to push.
Yes, he has, and there is Mortara, there is Daniel Gadea. You can see on screen that the race control tells us that DRS is enabled, so that means that Jamie has got 2 laps to have to defend against the DRS-enabled Matthias Ekström, potentially.
Yeah, this and one more, yeah. So he's running out of options on this lap, but, I mean, the key area is always off turn 4 over the line, isn't it?
Yes.
And in that respect, it's only one more defence, because on the last lap, this is the end of the penultimate lap, at the end of the last lap, he wouldn't be able to get alongside in time, given where the timing line is. The move comes at turn 1, so really,
it's now or never.
If it doesn't happen now, Jamie is kind of away for the last lap. Here he comes, and I reckon he's far enough ahead not to worry.
Last lap.
He is far enough.
Out of DRS range.
Last lap. 1 more lap. 1 more lap.
So unless Jamie Green makes a mistake, he is going to do the double.
Whichever way you look at it, that man has driven phenomenally, hasn't he?
And look at this, Juncker there to the outside of Mortara. He locks up, he goes round the outside, they touch. The Mercedes, he's over the grass, it's sideways, and here comes Vittoris for the inside line of the next corner. Can't do it, gets sideways, stands on the brakes. Martin tries to buy into it as Juncker there goes rally crossing as well. The Mercedes together, and Martin now puts himself in jeopardy as he tries to buy into this because he's on the outside line. The concrete beckons and he has to give way. No shuffle in the order, but it was very close. Juncker they are getting a bit animated about all of this, understandably.
Well, here it is in replay. So that was a brave move by Daniel Juncker, wasn't it? He was squeezed out by Eduardo Mortara, and then Christian Vittoris spots this opportunity. Right. Back to this man, Jamie Green, in car number 53. What a phenomenal race he has driven. He has managed the gap perfectly and has needed to do so. With the safety car out, the checkered flag flies for Jamie Green, who takes win number 2 of the weekend.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. Well done.
Jamie Green, Matthias Ekström, Miguel Molina.
Fantastic job, Jamie, again. Thank you very much.
Then, after Molina, it is Timo Scheider, Eduardo Mortara, Danny Juncker, Christian Vittoris, Maxime Martin, Nico Muller, and Bruno Spengler.
Well done. Good job all weekend. 2 wins.
However, Bruno Spengler will get time added on for the drive-through penalty, which will send Rockefeller into the last points-paying position.
Yeah, Spengler will get 30 seconds, and that's going to put him last. So, yeah, he will be the last finisher. Many, many years ago, there was the format in the DTM that there would be a qualifying race as well as the main race. That effectively was the last time we had 2 races of a weekend. They were on the same day, and the last person then to do a double was Uwe Altsson back in 2002 at the Nürburgring. As I say, after that, it just became a single race format. But if you go back to the days where 2 races on a weekend, although differing lengths, were done, Uwe Altsson, the last person to have 2 victories on a weekend. And Jamie Green has added himself to that list. And a great result for him and a great result for the Rosberg team. Let's hear from Dieter Gas, the Audi DTM boss, down in the pit lane with Verena.
Yeah, truly a phenomenal result, Dieter Gas. That is absolutely amazing. Another triple victory for Audi and another win for Jamie Green. I mean, how happy could you possibly be?
Yeah, it's really incredible. I mean, this weekend, fantastic. Hockenheim was very good. This week was just fantastic. There's no other words for that. The guys did an excellent job. We were a bit scared coming here with the performance weights in our cars, But I mean, we got everything together, and contrary to last year where we had a competitive car and somehow just didn't get the most out of it, this time really everything went perfectly. The drivers behaved. We had a nice fight between Matthias and Jamie in the beginning, but all was fair and square as we want to see in motor racing, so really super, super happy.
I bet you're going to celebrate tonight.
Yes, thank you.
You've got all the reasons. So thank you very much. Congratulations, Dieter Gas. And back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Verena. Uwe Olsen then it was. Now, there was a guy you didn't want to go and talk to if he was in a bad temper.
Oh, no. I can remember that in speed car days on the Dubai podium. And he had an expression that looked like all his rabbits had died. He was far from amused that day. Anyway, we digress. A very happy Jamie Green arrives in Parc Fermé as the race winner. What's that? His 11th career win.
Brilliant.
And it's important, as we know, early in the DTM season to start banking these points, because when you get to the second half of the year and the manufacturers need to work out which driver or drivers have the better chance of winning the championship and therefore to get the full support. If you're in the box seat, then a lot of the work for the rest of the season is done early doors, and Jamie Green with another cracking drive. And as we said during the race, Dave, you've got to be good to get past Ekstrom.
You have, and he did, and there he is.
Bravo, Jamie. From the world of Brisker mini stocks many, many moons ago, through Formula Renault, Formula 3 Euro Series, into the DTM, initially for Mercedes, now for Audi, and has certainly this year marked himself out as being one of the key parts of the team. Matthias Ekstrom for second place. And he clambers out of the car and congratulates Jamie. But a great result for Audi, as you've been hearing.
So Jamie Green then utterly delighted being ushered away, but first of all he wants to see his engineers and his team to say thank you to them. Here is confirmation of the result then. Jamie Green P1, then it was Ekstrom, Molina, then Scheider, Mortara, Juncker victorious, Maxime Martin P8, Nico Muller P9, then it was Mike Rockenfeller and Martin Tomczyk and Timo Glock. And bear in mind that Bruno Spengler not serving the drive-through penalty, that sends him back effectively to last place, or P19. Pascal Wehrlein P13, then it was Antonio Felix da Costa, Paul di Resta, Maximilian Goetz finishes ahead of Marco Wittmann, Robert Wickens and the aforementioned Bruno Spengler, having lost we lost Tom Bay, Auer, Farfus, Paffett and Tom Blomqvist.
So Jamie Green, 10 years ago he was a Formula 3 Euro Series champion and made his move in 06 into the DTM, the best championship result ironically in his last year with Mercedes. He was third that year and then moved across to Audi, and for third place Miguel Molina. Justifiable, I think. Yeah, we have him on the podium after yesterday.
I was going to say he deserves that.
Yeah, interestingly, Miguel, one of a number of DTM drivers who races with a gum shield in, like Matthias Ekstrom does, takes that out, and then all smiles as he faces the cameras. But yeah, a good drive, or two good drives actually by Molina. But yesterday he ended up being bumped down to fourth place, and this has been the man of the weekend, Jamie Green, with 2 victories and excellent driving. And in fairness, the Rosberg team, while it's been a mainstay of the DTM, hasn't always been considered to be one of the top Audi teams. It's been there, it's got some good results. It's in the days when you had the older cars, run the older machinery and done the best that it could with that handicap. But now, here it is as the best of the Audi teams. It's had 2 race victories.
Yes, absolutely. And I wonder how that's going to change the dynamics as the season, you know. And it's relative to the point that you made early on that you know, it's the banking of those points early on in the season before, you know, the manufacturer makes the decision which of the drivers are we going to be supporting here. Well, Jamie Green, who went into this with a 2-point margin in the championship, now finds himself on 75 points, playing Matthias Ekstrom on 58 and Eduardo Mortara on 58 points as well. So the top 3 places in the championship go the way of Audi. Then we see Pascal Wehrlein from Mercedes in P4, but we have to go down to P8, David, before we see Maxime Martin and BMW.
Yes, which is a concern certainly for BMW, Maxime Martin being the man holding their honour. I'm hesitating slightly because the information we're getting is about Eduardo Mortara being under investigation for safety car regulations. Now, whether it is felt that he may have overtaken or done something outside the regs under the safety car, I know no more than that. But Eduardo Mortara, who was 5th on the road, is being investigated for a possible infringement under the safety car. just to go back to my Rosberg point, of course, it's now, although we talk about the double this weekend, it's 3 wins out of the 4 races for Jamie Green and for the Rosberg team. You can understand his delight. It's a team that was created well over 20 years ago when Keke Rosberg drove in the DTM and the ITC, and the team expanded into the Formula 3 Euro Series to run Nico Rosberg, and then as Nico graduated away from the F3 Euro Series, it then concentrated its efforts purely on the DTM, and although it was initially an Opel team, it's now very much part of the Audi family. There's Matthias Ekström taking his 2nd place finish today, and a happy man, I'm sure, because he knows the importance of banking points. He was 3rd yesterday, and Miguel Molina will be a happy man as well. He's on the podium for that 3rd place. Let's hear from him.
So Miguel, finally you're on the podium. Yesterday you were fighting so hard, and now 3rd place. Are you happy?
Yeah, for sure. I'm really happy. I think we did a good weekend in general. We knew that this racetrack was not so positive for us in the past, but at the end Audi did a really good job, and also today we were really strong, and personally I'm really happy to score my first podium here in Lausitzring, and that makes me really happy, and for sure we'll have to continue in this level for the championship.
Congratulations, thank you, and back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Verena. Delighted, and I think you're absolutely right, David. Molina is deserving of that podium after his performances this weekend, that's for sure, as we see Jamie Green making his way up towards the rear of the podium there. He's going to be one very happy man indeed. 2 out of 2 this weekend. Fantastic stuff for Jamie Green. And they're the cars we can see down there, and they look great, don't they? And seeing that orange car in the middle there, Jamie Green taking 2 out of 2 here at Lausitzring, and I think we can say that you know, his dominance here this weekend has proved a point that you made earlier on, that it ain't all about the Norris ring, is it, for this man?
No, I mean, he'd never won here before, but does score victory. Matthias Ekström has been a winner here in the past, although his last victory here came in 05. Today, it is 2nd place for Matthias Ekström, the Lausitzring, a venue that came onto the DTM calendar in 2000, although never got a race. It had qualifying, but the races were rained off. So bad was the weather condition that weekend that the races never started. So Jamie Green yesterday took his 1st ever victory at the Lausitzring. He backs it up with a 2nd today, and in 4 races this year, it is 3 wins to Jamie Green. It is 3 wins to Audi, and Audi, of course, has won all 4 races that we have had this year. And Eduardo Mortara, no further action under the safety car regulations investigation. So all is good for him. 5th position, and that means that it's an Audi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's even better than yesterday.
Extraordinary, isn't it? Absolutely extraordinary. So, well, complete and total domination from Audi as we look at some super slow-mos of our race-winning car then from Jamie Green. And podium celebrations will be underway shortly, and podium ceremony will be underway shortly. And big group of fans here to enjoy the race action, the DTM and Porsches here. And also some motorbike racing still to come this afternoon as well. But for the moment, we focus on the race-winning car of Jamie Green. And the Hoffman Group livery on that car. We were trying to ascertain earlier whether his brother Nigel, who, of course, for an entire season spent his time as a physio to Jamie here in the paddock as well, whether he was racing last night himself in a domestic small oval series in the UK, or whether he was just spectating or whatever. But he's certainly been on social media, and I've checked out some of the messages from earlier on from Nigel Green, who'll be delighted with his brother's performance this weekend.
A very handy paddler himself, although he started racing quite late in life relative to Jamie, who was in mini stocks in his early teens, if not younger. But Nigel, in recent years, has been a real gun in F2, now Formula 1 stock cars, and the Audi mechanics celebrate in raucous fashion as Jamie Green makes his way to the top step of the podium here at the Lausitzring. A double top for Jamie Green, the British driver it is, who scores 2 wins this weekend. Matthias Ekström takes a 3rd and a 2nd, and Miguel Molina takes a 4th and then a 3rd, and he will be the final driver on to the podium at the end of another fascinating round of the DTM. The new format then of 2 qualifying and 2 races, different length races and pit stops in one of them as well, is giving us a fascinating season. And if you work for Audi, you've got an awful lot to cheer about and to celebrate. But more than anybody, Jamie Green can celebrate. It is win number 3 out of 4.
So the anthem plays out for Jamie Green. And once again, the noise levels rise from the Audi teams down there underneath the podium. Here comes trophy presentation time, and Mr. Alphonse Horman, then the DOSB president, makes the trophy presentation to Jamie Green, and he holds the trophy aloft. Double success this weekend here at the Lausitzring for Jamie Green. And trophy presentation to team as well. Great trophies they are. Barriers being clattered beautifully. Next up then, Gerd Neumann, the managing director of Decker Automobile, takes the trophy to Matthias Ekstrom and presents that. And Mr. Axel Schultz, the former professional boxer, making the third place trophy presentation to Miguel Molina. Deserving of that podium after his weekend's performance. So they all meet in the middle and on the top step of the podium now for the photographs before the Henkel Trocken will be uncorked and sprayed about the podium in celebration, that's for sure. Interesting that Matthias Ekstrom took the time to put his camera on the balcony of the podium there. There is Jamie Green first with the Henkel Trocken uncorked, and shares it with his team down there, and getting an absolute soaking himself, and deservedly so. Podium celebrations there. And whilst we've been enjoying the podium celebrations, my colleague alongside me, as always, has been working hard.
Only to come up with a few more Anaraki points. Miguel Molina's podium, his best finish of the year.
Yes.
Danny Juncadea's 6th place, his not just best finish of the year, but best ever. And Max Gert's 16th place out of 4 races. It's his 3rd 16th place finish.
Wow.
I'll get my code.
So then, the celebrations there, and you can see Verena moving in with Matthias Ekstrom. She's going to speak to him right now for us.
Congratulations to a very well-deserved 2nd place. However, you were fighting so hard. You had Jamie just once, but then unfortunately you lost the lead again, and yet you were fighting so strong. Are you happy with the 2nd place?
I mean, 2nd is better than way back, for sure. We were going for the victory, but struggled a bit with the tires. They were getting a bit too hot in the first stint, and then I couldn't really keep the pace of him. And then, unfortunately, when one guy behind has DRS, the next lap you fight for your life to stay in the DRS, on which I couldn't manage. So actually was afterwards a little boring. Then after the pit stop, I got new tires, new life, caught up, and then again they got a bit too hot, and yeah, so not too much to do. He was the man of the weekend. Audi were the dominator. I'm still a little bit shocked about the general Audi performance. We have been struggling here since about 15 years, and suddenly us dominating the place.
Absolutely amazing. So congratulations, Eki. And now let's grab Jamie real quick. Well, woohoo, the man of the weekend, Jamie Green. That is just absolutely unbelievable. You lost the lead just once by Eki. You caught it right back. But then during safety phase, did you get a little nervous?
Yeah, I've had so many safety cars when I'm in the lead. It's just a joke, you know, last year and this year. So, you know, I had like, I don't know, nearly 3 seconds lead. And then the safety car comes out and you're like, oh, great, thanks a lot. You know, it took me about 45 minutes to build up that gap, and then you lose it all straight away. So, but no, it was good. The car was really good again. Matthias gave me a good run for my money, as I should expect from him. So yeah, it was a hard-fought win today, and I had to overtake him and obviously build a gap and get out of the DRS window, which I did. And yeah, not an easy race, but all the more satisfying.
And yet for the spectators, I'm sure it looked pretty easy the way you were just up front. But anyway, you are Mr. Lausitzring, and in 4 weeks we've got Lausitzring. So I guess, you know, you're really, really fast, plus it's your favorite racetrack. So you excited?
Yeah, but at the same time, we're going to have a lot of weight in our car now because we get success ballast and we've won a lot of races so far. So we're going to be the heaviest car there, and it's going to be tough.
And yet you had the heaviest car here and you flew by. So anyway, I'm pretty sure you're going to do well. Congratulations, do celebrate tonight. And now here are the highlights of the day.
watching me under the light. Can I be a line? They say it's easy to leave you behind. I don't wanna try. Cut cover, take that test. Hold courage to your chest. Don't wanna wait for you. Don't wanna have to lose all that I've compromised to feel another high. I've got to keep it down tonight. And oh, I was a king under your control. And oh, I wanna feel like you've let me go. So let me go. Don't you remember how I used to like being on the line? I dreamed you dreamed of me calling out my name. Is it worth the price? Cut cover, take that test. Hold courage to your chest. Don't wanna wait for you. Don't wanna have to lose all that I've compromised to feel another high. I've got to keep it down tonight. And oh, I was a king under your control. And oh, I wanna feel like you let me go. I had to break myself to carry on. No love and no admission. Take this from me tonight. Oh, let's fight. Oh, let's fight. Oh, let's fight.
Any second now. Und jetzt bin ich hier mit dem Mann des Wochenendes, Jamie Green. Unfassbar, was du hier am Wochenende geleistet hast. Nicht nur 2 Rennen gewonnen, du bist auch Führender der Championship. Wie fühlst du dich?
Ja, ich bin so happy. Das ist ein Traumwochenende für mich, beide Rennen zu gewinnen. Und ja, die RS5 ist so stark und das ist ein Vergnügen für mich zu fahren. Und ja, ich bin sehr, sehr happy.
Das glaube ich. Und als nächstes steht ja der Lausitzring an. Und das ist ja auch noch deine Lieblingsstrecke. Du bist Mr. Lausitzring. Also eigentlich kann es ja gar nicht mehr schief gehen, oder?
Ja, ich glaube, wir haben eine Chance da, aber wir haben viel Success Ballast in unserem Auto jetzt und das nicht helfen uns da. Aber natürlich, wir kämpfen flat out und dann wir werden sehen, wann mein erster Lausitzring-Sieg in einem Audi ist möglich oder nicht.
Bin mir sicher, du